Get the ball first, and Norv Turner very pleased, as you mentioned. Gus Frerotte didn't have his best game, and a win on the road is Norv Turner in his 4th season as head coach.
And I think the one thing that Norv Turner learned about his team last week, and specifically his quarterback, is that he's taken a step in maturity. Because last week, when Gus Frerotte had to make some plays, he made them.
On the other side, Bill Cowher didn't need to chew out his team. He was calm this week. That's what a good coach does after a loss like that.
Yeah, regroup, go back to basics. Let's do what we do well. And that's been his credo the whole week. And I would expect we see a different Steeler football team today.
And there you see Michael Westbrook and Stephen Davis sitting together on the bench. You remember the shots of the terrible punching attack by Westbrook on Stephen Davis. And
terrible schmerable.
That happens all the time, but it happened to be seen by everyone. I know this goes on all the time, right?
Yeah, and I think that was a great picture because guess what? It's just like when you're a family growing up. They have it.
They're our team. Kickoff, and it's headed towards Will Blackwell, the rookie, returning from the 5-yard line. And a good return for Blackwell, a promising wide receiver. He brings it out to the 40-yard line. A 36-yard return. Kordell Stewart, who struggled against the Dallas Cowboys last week, will come out and lead a Pittsburgh Steeler attack. Tom Myslinski replaces Brendan Stye, who's out for 8 weeks, the right guard. And in the backfield, Bettis should get a lot of action today, and they have a crew of outstanding wide receivers. Starting from the I formation from the 39. First down, and the give is to Bettis. Trying to go outside, and Bettis gets a couple. Redskins defense did not do a good job last week in stopping the run. Carolina was able to run the ball. Kennard Lang, of course, a rookie from the University of Miami, starting at defensive end. Chris Mims, the former San Diego Charger. A rookie Derek Smith starts with good veterans, Marcus Patton and Ken Harvey. You won't find better corners than Darrell Green and Chris Dishman. That entire secondary played well last Sunday night. 2nd and 7. And again, they go to the bus. And this time the bus is stopped short. Maybe a yard, that's all, and that will bring up 3rd down.
Well, last week the cry here in Pittsburgh was, hey, we didn't give Bettis the ball enough. He got his yard, but we didn't stay with him the whole time. Now, he talked to Jerome Bettis about that, and the first thing that he pointed out was, look, we missed some 3rd downs that would have kept that thing going. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do well today, Jerome Bettis is going to have a big game.
There you see one of the reasons they couldn't run well. They were only 1 for 11 on 3rd down conversions, so they didn't have many first downs. 3rd down and 6 at the 43. 4 wide receivers. Kordell Stewart, and his first pass is caught by Charles Johnson. He gets away from Darrell Green and finds himself in Redskin territory and a big gain of 21 yards.
You know, all this talk about Kordell Stewart and moving him around, and hey, look, Kordell Stewart got himself a strong arm. And when you have this kind of time to throw the football, and you can look outside, and you have your one-on-one matchup with Charles Johnson, and Johnson just does a nice job of just swatting Darrell Green away. Green missed the tackle, and it's a first down. It all starts up front, though, with protecting Stewart.
Only 2 catches last week for Johnson, who was in motion. First down for the Steelers. Good protection for Kordell Stewart. And there he is taking off, and he just steps out of bounds wisely after a gain of 8 yards.
Take a good look at those feet. Take a good look down lower at that brace. Speaking to him this week, he said, you know, last week I couldn't quite have the confidence that I thought I had. He said today in practice, this was on Friday, he said today in practice was the first time that I went full speed without thinking about my knee. You can see he's running. He has a little bit of hitch, but not much.
Let's get it right there. All right, man.
2nd down and 1. A lot of people, of course, expect Kordell Stewart to be a mobile quarterback. Kind of a jumbo offense there for Jerome Bettis, who's got the first down. And he is tackled by Derek Smith after a gain of 6 to the 22-yard line of the Redskins.
You know, in some ways, facing Jerome Bettis for this Washington Redskin defense is a plus. Because what they had problems last week with was Anthony Johnson, the running back from the Carolina Panthers, would start one way and then cut back. And Bettis is not that type of runner. He will stay in one direction, and you can get to him a little easier.
George Jones goes in for Jerome Bettis is being worked on the sideline. 1st and 10 for the Steelers, who are marching, and the pass underneath to the tight end Kirk Botkin, and Botkin close to another 1st down. This is an impressive Steeler first drive.
And the reason it's impressive is they're not getting any pressure on Kordell Stewart. The one time that Kordell Stewart took off and run was because there was coverage down the field. The other 2 times he had all day. Heck, he could have read Mad Magazine back there.
From cover to cover.
Which of course is what I would have read.
You always get that Penn State education in somehow. 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line, and Jerome Bettis is back in. And Bettis going outside. Pressure from the secondary, and a flag is down. Darrell Green forcing the play, and we have our first penalty, and it will be a holding call against the Steelers. Our referee is Ron Blum.
Holding. 65 offense. 10 yards. Repeat 1st down.
That's John Jackson, the big offensive tackle. I still think that if an official wanted to, an umpire or a referee, if he wanted to, he could call holding on every play. And I think you have to realize, because of what I just said of that holding, that the league has changed the rules, and the rules now do allow you to use your hands, and so you really almost have to pretty much throw a guy around.
That is a tough spot to get a penalty when you're really threatening on the 11-yard line. 1st and 20, back to the 21-yard line, and the pass is caught. Dishman on Charles Johnson right away, and the completion is made inside the 20, and a couple of the players have to be separated. A gain of 8 yards. Bring up 2nd down.
Well, and this is a spot inside the field, and you're talking about 2nd down. All of a sudden the field shrinks and your coverage tightens up, and your inside backers have a chance back in here where there's not much field, and so everything is a lot tighter, and Stewart has to be a lot more accurate.
2nd and 12. And here's the draw play to Jerome Bettis. Bettis inside the 10 to the 5, and Bettis gets to the goal line, does not get over. He is tackled at the 1-yard line by both Derek Smith and Jesse Campbell, but that was an impressive power run by Bettis.
Forget power. That wasn't power. I want you to watch what Bettis does right here, because if you look real close at about the 12-yard line, you're going to see a jockstrap laying on the ground right there. See that? That Stanley Richard got faked out. Came clean, unaccounted for. You have to make the play. Bettis makes the nice move and comes back inside.
So Bettis getting what he wanted, a lot of work early. 4 carries for 22 yards. 1st and goal at the 1. Quarterback sneak touchdown. Kordell Stewart gives the Steelers the lead. That was a impressive, time-consuming drive by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Something they didn't have a chance to do last week against Dallas.
Like you see Bill Cowher, he sprinted off the sideline. He sprinted right home towards Jerome Bettis. Had that jaw sticking out. He was excited.
Norm Johnson is on for the point after. Steelers never had the lead a week ago in their opener, and they have a 7-0 lead as Norm Johnson converts. Kordell Stewart scored the touchdown, but it was Jerome Bettis who was the key operative in that drive. Back at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, the Steelers giving the crowd something to cheer about, leading 7-0 on an impressive scoring drive. Norm Johnson will be kicking off. Brian Mitchell and Mark Logan are back deep for the Redskins. Headed for Mitchell, a yard in the end zone. Brian Mitchell, and the Steelers stop him at about the 20-yard line. That was a 5-minute and 41-second scoring drive to start the game, but now the Redskins will get the ball.
Before releasing NFL.
And this has to be a big thrill for Gus Frerotte, who grew up in Ford City, Pennsylvania, some 40 miles away. His father and mother are here today. He worked for the Pittsburgh Pirates in a conditioning program, so he is familiar with this area, and I'm sure a dream to be a Steeler, but he's pleased to be a Redskin. And there are his parents, proud as can be, Gus and Pat, in this press area. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line for the Redskins. And Frerotte to go to the air on 1st down, and he completes it to Henry Ellard out of bounds. And a gain of 16 yards. Gus Frerotte, who was undistinguished last week in the win over Carolina, as we mentioned, but made some big plays down the stretch. Bob Dahl, the veteran who saw action last week, starts at right guard this time for the Redskins. And rookie second-year Stephen Davis makes his first NFL start at running back for the injured Terry Allen. 1st down on the 37, and the handoff is to Davis, and he doesn't get much. That'll bring up 2nd and long. Defensively for the Steelers, and they use the 3-4 defensive alignment. They're going to shuttle some defensive linemen in today. Keevan Henry, Joel Steed at nose, and Nolan Harrison, but we'll see others as well. Good set of linebackers. Greg Lloyd was quiet last week, but Earl Holmes had a big game. And in the secondary, Chad Scott, the #1 pick from Maryland, again will be a target for the Redskins. 2nd and 8. Swing pass to Davis is incomplete. Will bring up 3rd down.
Listen to Ronnie Lott, and you talk to him, and there's Terry Allen, who broke his thumb and is out. And Stephen Davis, the guy who's taken his place. A lot of people don't know about Stephen Davis. Stephen Davis is a bigger guy than Terry Allen. He's a faster guy than Terry Allen. He runs like a 4.45. He catches the ball well out of the backfield. All he needs is time in this offense. Today he's going to get it.
He's on the sideline now as Brian Mitchell, the 3rd down back, comes in with 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 8. Steelers put pressure on Frerotte. Redskins pick it up, and pass incomplete. Flag is down.
Yeah, that was Donnell Wolford was all over Michael Westbrook. Donnell Wolford is going to have a problem today with Westbrook because Westbrook is too big and strong. Westbrook is a big guy. And people forget the size of him outside.
Defense. 1st down.
Watch, Wolford's going to give him a cushion. Then he's going to try to break back inside. He's going to try to take away the inside. See, Michael will just run right through that.
Westbrook did not catch a pass in last week's opener. But the Redskins find themselves now in Steeler territory. 1st and 10. Wolford, the former Chicago Bear. Play action pass. Frerotte has a lot of time, and the pass to Henry Ellard is caught at the 32-yard line. Chad Scott defending on the play, but the veteran kept both feet in bounds.
Well, that
now a conference.
Yeah, that may be overruled right there. Okay, Chad Scott, who played pretty well last week against the Dallas Cowboys. He was fighting the whole time. He could go to school today against Henry Ellard in those comebacks.
And that's the great officiating, because the idea, of course, is to get it right, and they did.
Well, there's 2 officials. You see he comes down, doesn't have control of the ball. And that's why actually, he didn't have both feet in bounds.
Double whammy.
Yeah, they got the double on him. But a nice job of the officials. See, the officials, you have one deep as your side judge, and then you also have the head linesman on the other side, and they look at each other, and they have to communicate to be on the same page.
2nd down and 10 for the Redskins on the Steeler 47. Jamie Asher, the tight end, in motion, and the pitch to Stephen Davis, trying to get some momentum. Davis is brought down by Greg Lloyd after a pickup of about 5.
Watching this Pittsburgh Steeler defense, last week they had some problems. The one guy who had some problems is Greg Lloyd. And Greg Lloyd, as a player, is a guy who's coming off the knee, sat out all of last year. He has to be a guy who's involved in movement and in scheme, because if you just go big body on him, he has a tough time because he's not that big of a guy.
Lloyd got hurt in the first game last year. Chad Brown took his place, and now he's in Seattle. Frerotte to Asher, 1st down inside the 35-yard line, close to the 30, and a pass of 10 yards with Darren Perry, the free safety, on the tackle.
Well, this game, if these first 2 drives are any indicator, this could be a humdinger, because both these offenses are just marching methodically right down the field. They're running the ball effectively. They're both protecting their passers extremely well, and their quarterbacks are on.
These teams haven't played since 1991, but don't be fooled by that. They scrimmage every year in training camp, so they know each other. Steelers with the edge in total yardage now. 1st down from the 31 and the pass knocked down and nearly picked off by the all-pro strong safety Kordell Lake, but they got to Frerotte on that play.
They got to Frerotte because they forgot to block Jason Gilden. Watch him on the top side. This is what this defense does. They're either going to release him. Ed Simmons is looking to the inside of Levon Kirkland, and on the outside is Jason Gilden coming clean. They give you so many different looks. They keep you off balance. You never know who's going to come. If they just lined up in the straight thing the whole time, you know it, but you don't know. That's the whole key.
A lot of trickery going on with that defense.
Trickery and chicanery.
They go hand in hand. Michael Westbrook back in the game on 2nd and 10, and the pass intended for Westbrook. A flag is down.
Looks like they jumped a little bit. That one's going to go against the Steelers. They were coming with a blitz off the corner on Lloyd's side.
So it'll be 2nd down, and so the incomplete pass turns out to a 2nd and 5. Greg Lloyd was the Steeler who was offside on the play.
Dick, so much of blitzing is based on anticipation and then also getting the quick start, the quick jump. And sometimes you'll hit it just right, and you have a half a step before the offensive man comes out of his stance. It's a fine line between the two.
2nd and 5 on the Steeler 27. And they go to Davis again. Stephen Davis finds an opening and gets a first down for the Steelers. Levon Kirkland on the tackle. And it was a year ago, not this past season, in preseason, where Stephen Davis really raised the eyebrows of the Redskins.
And you see a Steelers down, but I want you to watch this. See, John Riggins loves Stephen Davis, and the reason is right there. See, he says he has point of patience. When you get to the point where you have to either make your decision or wait, he hasn't.
We have an injury timeout and be right back.
The world keeps burning.
Injured Steeler, and he walked off, but he's been replaced by Jerry Olsowski, who's played his college ball right here in Pittsburgh at the University of Pittsburgh. 1st and 10 at the 20. And here is Davis putting a move, and hard to bring down as Davis, Darren Perry making the tackle after a gain of 5. He's got more speed, Norv Turner said, than Terry Allen. He's got some power as well.
He kind of looks like a faster Jerome Bettis. That's what he is. I mean, he's got the power inside. You'll see he squares his shoulders, but he also has just a touch of magic right there. See, bounce back outside, and he's going to try to give you a little bit more. And you see Michael Westbrook standing there. That's not a good sign. Get in there and block. Howie Long says he's one of the best blocking wide receivers in the league. You got to get it done.
Levon Kirkland back in the lineup for the Steelers. 10th play of the drive on 2nd down and 5, and a penalty marker down. And that normally would indicate a false start call against the Redskins, the offensive team. But we'll wait for Ron Blum.
Prior to the snap, false start, 76 offense, 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
Big Ed Simmons at right offensive tackle. And Ed Simmons is a major key in their run game. Ed Simmons also still is not right. That right knee is not the same. But they need him in order for them to run the football effectively. They need a big Ed Simmons in that lineup getting a push.
10th play of the drive coming up that is consumed a little more than 4 minutes. Steelers had more than a 5.5-minute drive to take the lead in their first series. 2nd and 10 on the 20. Frerotte getting some time, and his pass thrown, and it's intercepted right into the hands of Darren Perry. That was a poor pass by Frerotte.
Dick, that was a great play by Levon Kirkland. Levon Kirkland, who went out for one play and came back in, took away Jamie Asher down the middle, and that's what they were trying to get to. And because of his big body, they couldn't get to him, and you got the pick.
And that is the first interception of the year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it thwarts a Redskin drive.
Kirkland right here. Asher's going to be here. They're going to go 1, 2, and the safety over the top. Kirkland does a great job of running from the underneath, heading to the top side, taking Asher away, and then Frerotte with the bad throw. And the safeties, heck, he's all by himself. You just make the play.
And that is Frerotte first interception of the season, so the Steelers take over on the 12. They got one running back, and it's Jerome Bettis. And that's all you need with a run like this. Out past the 30-yard line, and a gain of 18 yards with Dishman and Patton finally bringing the bus down.
Well, remember last week they lost Brendan Stein. They take Tom Myslinski and they put him in, and Myslinski's the whole key. In 62 right there, he's going to come and he's going to right there. See, he was on the side. Jerome Bettis just comes blowing up inside, and I'm going to tell you this: you better get your big boy pads on. Right there, Myslinski takes it perfect, opens this whole thing up. You're playing against Bettis. You better bring your big boy pads.
1st and 10 at the 31. Charles Johnson in motion, and they go to Bettis again. Good cut up the middle, and Bettis brings it to the 34-yard line. And right now, for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood. JB?
Dick and Matt, these highlights are accurate. Tampa Bay's Warwick Dunn, 49 yards on this run here. That set up a 1-yard TD pass from Dilfer to Patrick Hayden. It's the Bucks on top 10-0, looking to go 2-0. Dick Stockton, Matt Millen.
We're not surprised at what Warwick Dunn's doing.
I watched him in the preseason and training camp. He's got some Barry Sanders in him.
2nd down and 7 on the 34-yard line. There's a play fake and a designed rollout for Kordell Stewart. Stanley Richard grabs it with one hand, and out of bounds he goes, and a flag is down. That'll be a flag against the Redskins. Chris Dishman finishing off that play that Richard started, and Stewart had the first down anyway, and now the Steelers will get the ball in Redskin territory.
Unnecessary roughness, late hit out of bounds. Number 26.
It's on Dishman.
15 yards, 1st down.
Watch the end of it. Dishman's going to be working on Charles Johnson. Jesse Campbell tries to cut him off, and then that's a bad call.
Yes, he tripped.
That's a bad call.
And he never touched him.
Yeah, somebody fell at his feet, and he was coming over the top. That happens.
Well, a break for the Steelers, who now have possession on the Redskin 42-yard line. Stewart's numbers. And they go to the meal ticket. Jerome Bettis, but this time knocked out back by Ken Harvey, and a loss on the play.
That's how you want to defend Bettis. See, what you want to do with Bettis is make him run sideways. When he squares his shoulders and comes right at you, that means two things. That means he's coming full force, all 250 pounds of him, and it also means that he sees a crease up inside. And that's not a good combination.
Harvey, an outstanding pass rusher, making a tough play on Bettis. 10 rushes to only 3 passes. Yep, back to basics for the Steelers so far. 2nd and 12. Pressure on Stewart, trying to avoid it, and the screen pass to Bettis is incomplete. Greg Lloyd suffered a mild ankle sprain, and he is expected to return for the Steelers. He's getting taped up. He's set to come back now. 3rd and long coming up for the Steelers, who lead 7-0. Third down and 12 on the Washington 44. Out of the shotgun. Stewart swings it out, incomplete. George Jones, the rookie, impressive in preseason.
They were lucky that one, Dick. They ran everybody off, and they wanted to get George Jones underneath one-on-one, but what happened was there was no one-on-one. It was one-on-none. But it was a poor throw and falls incomplete and sets up this 4th.
Dangerous return man Brian Mitchell goes back to the 10-yard line. And Josh Miller will be punting for the Steelers. 2:22 remaining in the 1st quarter. Steelers twice have been in Redskin territory and have scored once. Toward the corner is Miller's kick, and it goes out of bounds. Inside the 10-yard line, closer to the 5. That was a fine punt by Miller, who got the benefit of that bounce. Oh, the Redskins will take
true lies.
Right?
And then you can't be honest and lie at the same time.
Hard to do, and that's why I'm going to watch the movie next week to find out what they mean. How's that for a promo? First down at the 9. Stephen Davis. That was not a smooth handoff from Gus Frerotte, and no gain on the play. Earl Holmes was right there.
I think Earl Holmes is pretty darn good. I watch Earl Holmes on tape, and I'm going to say something you may not agree with out there, but I believe it. I think Earl Holmes is their best defender. I think Earl Holmes is one of those guys who just has a huge upside, but he has what you can't teach. He's got great instincts.
Only in his second year. He'll be around for a while. Second and 11. Larry Bowie, number 47, in motion. In the end zone, the screen to Davis. Got a couple of blockers. Stephen Davis will get enough for the first down to the 20-yard line. Making the play was the nose tackle, Joel Snead, and a big play to get out of trouble for the Redskins.
See that guy right there? That North Turner. I've said it before, I'm saying it again. I think he's the best play caller in the league. You start having people getting pressure on you up front, and you're having problems knowing where they're coming from. So use it against them. So you let them come clean, and then you set the screen outside, and you create some separation between the first and second lines.
And it's the timing of his play calling, which he's maybe the best asset.
He's really good.
First down to Davis. Stephen Davis is a little unkempt right now. He's got his shirt out, and he's got his sweatshirt hanging, and I guess you gotta love that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what he could use is some dirt, but you're not going to get it here. Stephen Davis looks pretty darn good. Like what I see out of this kid. He's got some speed. It's easy to see why the Washington Redskins staff was excited about him. The other thing I like about him, he's a really quiet kid. Very kind of unassuming, just wants to get the job done. Easy kid to like.
He was a 4th-round draft pick from Auburn. This may be the last play of the first quarter. Second down and 6. And the flag is down.
That's Frerotte, 67, left tackle, and the reason is he's lined up over Greg Lloyd.
That's a tough penalty. That will make it second and 11.
Prior to snap, false start, 67 offense.
See, one of Fredonish's problems is he plays the game in his head. You're going to watch him right here, about who he's going against before he ever gets to the field. So if you told that 95 was Joe Schmo, he'd probably play a lot better than if he said, oh, no, I got Greg Lloyd.
Thinking too much?
He just thinks himself into trouble. You don't have to do that.
Second and 11 after the penalty. And they're going to have the quarter come to an end, which normally means a stoppage of play. So after one quarter,
generally,
here at Three Rivers Stadium, the Steelers leading the Redskins 7-0. We're here in Pittsburgh with the Steelers leading on an opening drive 7-0. And while we have a moment, I want to remind you that this game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the NFL is prohibited. Kordell Stewart with a 1-yard run after Jerome Bettis starred in the first quarter. On second and 11, Brian Mitchell gets loose and picks up a few yards. Will bring up third and about 7. Greg Lloyd making the stop.
Boy, that thing that looked like it was going to go someplace, and then Earl Holmes and Orpheus Roy got upfield and just tripped Mitchell up enough to prevent it from being a big play.
Orpheus Roy, also in his second year, and rookie Mike Vrabel expected to see a lot of action up front. In fact, both of them are in right now. Third and 7. Vrabel, a rookie from Ohio State. And the Steelers are going to call a timeout.
Yeah, they're taking Orpheus Roy out. He may have made a boo-boo.
That's the first timeout of the game. Redskins defensive tackle William Gaines being carted off. X-rays will be taken of his left foot. He will not be back. Might be seeing Keith Rucker in his place the next time the Redskins go on defense. Third down and 7. Randy Fuller and Myron Bell, extra defensive backs in the dive for the Steelers. James Jenkins in motion, play action. And Frerodte's pass is caught by Michael Westbrook, and he's got the first down into Steeler territory. Michael Westbrook with his second catch and a gain of 29, with Bell making the tackle.
They came with the blitz up front, so you're going to have the tight coverage outside with Chad Scott, and even after a slip. See, Scott's trailing him because he has safety help over the top. All this is set up because of a great job of picking up Jason Gilden on the backside, and that's going to be right there by Joe Patton. And then they protect them, give them time, boom, down the field.
Second longest pass play of this young season for the Redskins. They've got a first down on the 48. Another play fake, Gilden rushing. And this time wide open is Leslie Shepard, the former Steeler practice player, and he is wrestled out of bounds at the 11-yard line after a pickup of 36.
Now that one was on Gus Frerotte, because Frerotte had a little pressure up the field, and he had the presence to step up in the pocket. See, pressure's going to come from the outside. He starts to feel it. Now step up. Buy your time. See the field. And what you see is Leslie Shepard coming clean inside. No underneath help. Donnell Wolford doesn't get back there in time. Perry's over the top. Big play.
And it was Shepard who caught the longest pass play of 43 yards last week. And there is the guru of play calling.
That's the professor.
Yes, Norv Turner.
He's not going to like it, but tough.
First and 10 at the 12. You probably won't see the tape of this. Pitches to Stephen Davis, and Davis has Darren Perry coming up from the secondary, and Perry with a flag down makes the stop at about the 11.
That's going to be Greg Lloyd was held by Michael Westbrook. Like, I think Michael Westbrook is bigger than Greg Lloyd.
It looks that way.
Michael Westbrook's a big guy. He's a tough guy.
Holding. 82 offense, 10 yards.
But when you look at film as much as you do, nothing gets by you. It was Westbrook on the hold.
No, he's pretty darn good. He's a big, solid guy. He's even pointing. You see that? He was pointing at him. Said, he's your mine. Gets his hands on him. Yeah, I didn't see that one. Maybe that was a bad angle, but I don't think so.
And that was what Howie was saying, that Westbrook would be setting the blocks for Stephen Davis.
The picture was perfect. I mean, our producer director had the perfect shot, but it was just a bad angle.
First down and 20. Davis goes in motion. Wide left. And the slant pass to Jamie Asher, who's got it inside the Steeler 10-yard line. A pickup of 8. And it was Darren Perry. He's had a very busy first half in the secondary for Pittsburgh.
Now, we're talking about Norv Turner and how he calls the game. I want you to see how he orchestrates things. So he takes the back and he runs them out. Now he has nobody back here. But that's a great job of anticipating what's happening behind him. Because by sending the back outside, you make that corner come out and widen the field, and you sit down and pick it.
Randy Fuller has replaced Donnell Wolford at cornerback for Pittsburgh. Second and 12. Again, they send Davis in motion. And Frerotte fakes and throws. The Steeler got a hand on him, and the pass was incomplete. Nolan Harrison, the former Raider, putting the pressure on Gus Frerotte.
That's the first time they really have gotten legitimate pressure in terms of coming off of a block. Harrison comes inside. What happens is Bob Dahl, who's making his first start this week, just misses it. Dahl's looking to the outside. Harrison worked the stunt back to the inside, and Dahl never looked back. He was looking outside to Ed Simmons. So much of this game, the big plays come not from getting physically beat, but from getting mentally beat.
Third and 12. Sending a bunch, and Ferrotte's going to go down. And it's Myron Bell, but a flag is down.
Heck, they brought the house.
So hold everything. Myron Bell goes down. And Frerotte didn't have much of a chance to do anything.
And the only way to do that is if you're going to max protect, and then it has to come quick. So they brought everybody. In fact, if you look on the 20, I think the kitchen sinks out there.
False start, 84 offense, 5 yards, repeat
So
third
the
down.
tight end, Jamie Ash.
It's a good penalty.
Jim Haslett, the new defensive coordinator.
You know, I think Jim Haslett, who's coming from New Orleans, it's going to take a little time for him to understand just how they do things. Anybody can sit on a board, draw up X's and O's, see your personnel, but you have to marry them. And that's a process. The same process that Norv Turner had when he took over the Skins.
Frerotte 4 or 5 for 85 now with a third down and 17. Brian Mitchell comes in. This time the Steelers don't send that many, and the pass to Asher just beyond his reach. Chris Oldham defending on the play, and so the Steelers hold, and that will bring up fourth down, and Scott Bland will come in.
That's good coverage. Now, and I like that kind of defense by Pittsburgh. Now, at one point, you just don't sit back. At one point, what they do is they have deep help, and then you cover them from underneath, and you force the throw to have to be wide or long.
Lannon will attempt a 37-yard field goal with Frerotte the holder. Lannon 1 for 1 last week, and this kick is good. And the Redskins score and trail now 7-3. But 4 penalties against the Redskins hurt their chances to get a touchdown. The rookie from the University of Maryland, the #1 pick at cornerback, is going to the Steelers dressing room. They're going to check his right ankle. As you can see, he's already taken the socks off. So Scott is gone, and
he got long ankles.
He does.
Either that or he got skinny calves.
Landon will kick off. The Redskins trailing now 7-3, and back deep Will Blackwell and Mike Adams. And Blackwell running up at the 10-yard line. Blackwell has an opening, and a great crunching tackle made by Derek Smith. Smith, the rookie out of Arizona State. That was a great play because there was some opening for Blackwell.
Yeah, he had some green in between. What happens with Blanton when you get the short kick? Not only does Blackwell pick the ball up at the 10-yard line, but your blockers start picking people up. And if he doesn't make that sting right there, there's some room to run.
Smith making a big play, and so the Steelers have the ball on the 28-yard line. Keith Rucker has replaced William Gaines, having his left foot x-ray. Defensive tackle. Play fake and a rollout. Chasing Kordell Stewart. No match for Stewart. And Stewart showing speed with the knee brace and all, out of bounds after picking up the first down to the 45.
You know, Kordell Stewart has what they call sweet feet. When I want you to watch his feet. This is stuff, they're always in the right position. See, there's the play fake right there. And now he's coming back. He's trying to buy some time. Now he's going to set his feet to throw. Nothing there. A night at the Improv with Kordell Stewart.
A new show.
Jose, look at those sticks. He can pick them up and put them down.
17-yard gain as Campbell.
See that at the end there?
John Whitman, the fullback, in motion, and here is Bennis. Finds a crease. And finally, Stanley Richard brings him down, but not before the Steelers get another first down. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Dick and Matt, first San Francisco 49ers touchdown this season thrown by Jim Druckenmiller. His first ever touchdown toss caught by J.J. Stokes. His first touchdown since his rookie season in '95. 49ers on top by 1. Dick and Matt.
They're going to need J.J. Stokes with Rice out of there, plus other people.
Well, the one guy they got was Druckenmiller. I actually coached Druckenmiller one day. That's why he threw that pass.
And he's playing in the NFL. Hard to believe. First down at the 45. And Bennis gets a couple of yards. We have less than 10.5 to play in the second quarter. The Steelers, who scored on their first series, leading 7-3 over the Redskins.
I want you to watch Jesse Campbell, number 37. See, he's walked up right here. They've already effectively given you 8 men up front. See, 1, 2, 3. That means 8 up there. Campbell right there. Takes on the block and stuffs it, and that allows for the defenders to come. Now, if you start committing 8 guys up front, that means you're taking chances in your secondary, and that's where the Steelers will try to hit them.
Second down at 8. Here's Bennis diving to the 40. It'll be about 4 yards shy of the first down.
So much has been talked about in the Washington area about Sean Gilbert not signing and how they have to get him in and all that, you know. And you watched last week and they ran for some yardage on him. But I got news for you. Some of the things that happened last week are very correctable because it can be taken care of by their 2 linebackers, Marcus Patton and Derek Smith.
Sean Gilbert from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh suburb, is expected perhaps to be here, but he is not at the game, we understand. They may be watching though. Third down and 5. Out of the shotgun, Kordell Stewart's pass, and a fine catch short of the first down, however, by Blackwell.
It's a great catch by Blackwell, a nice throw by Stewart, but a poor job of Blackwell of knowing where he's at on the field. And guess what? Now you have a half yard. Here comes the bus. They're going to hop on the bus, Gus. Make a new plan, Stan.
4th and less than 1. Yep.
And they don't need to get coy, Roy.
No, and neither does Mike Nolan, who now has to figure out the goal line defense in essence here, as Jamal Duff, former Giant, has come in the game.
Now the key here is who wins the line of scrimmage. Which way that line of scrimmage goes will win.
And they go to the bus, and the bus gets to the next stop, I think. Yep, he does. It's a first down. Ken Harvey on the tackle, but very tough to bring down Jerome Bettis with short yardage.
Sometimes the line of scrimmage moves by itself. You get a great surge. And sometimes you have to create your own line surge. And when you're Jerome Bettis, and here's your line. See, watch this whole line right there. Which way is it going? See, there's a stalemate right there. Now you have to create your own. And Bettis is powerful enough that if he sees that small crack, he squares his shoulders and he reestablishes the line.
He had a career season a year ago here in Pittsburgh. Loves living here. First down at the 34. Stewart's pass is caught by Johnson, and Dishman won't let him get away. And a minimal gain of a couple of yards.
And that offensive line is protecting Kordell Stewart well. The only time that there hasn't been, well, when they had to take off and run is because there's been coverage down the field and he hasn't been able to get it there. But Strelzik outside, Mislinski, Dermontti Dawson, Will Wolford, John Jackson, they're all protecting and playing very well.
Second down and 6 on the Redskin 30. Stewart on the rollout. And the pass is caught. Fine catch by Johnson with Stanley Richard all over his back, but Charles Johnson, having a big game, gets it for 7. And close to another first down for Pittsburgh.
Now this thing's made possible. And let me tell you something. This is the hardest route to cover in all of football, that crossing route. And Charles Johnson just keeps on coming and keeps on coming. Now watch the adjustment. Back to the ball. That's perfect. You know why that was able to be done? Right here. You heard Terry Bradshaw talk about it on the pregame show. He's going to move around and buy some time and use those feet. And that's exactly what the Steelers are doing.
There's a penalty against the Steelers.
Ineligible player, number 62, illegally downfield.
Oh, Mislinski.
Yeah, the right guard who has been installed with Brendan Stye out for 8 weeks with a broken ankle, an eligible receiver. That's going to nullify what would have been a first down.
Well, you know what happened? Mislinski pulled out. You can see him right here, number 62. Now the line of scrimmage was up here. See, now once he goes past that line of scrimmage, flag is thrown because he becomes an eligible receiver downfield. They have to stay within the framework of that line of scrimmage.
As a result of the penalty, we have second and 11, back to the 35. Straight drop by Stewart, but he's being chased by Duff and throws the ball away. Jamal Duff, who played for Mike Nolan with the Giants last year, actually did not play much, but liked his abilities.
Well, the abilities that the Steelers like, or that the Washington Redskins like, is Chris Dishman. Watch the jam. Nice jam. Stays inside, keeps his hands on him. You have 5 yards. And remember, once you get your hands on him, you stay with him. Watch Tim Lester, 34. Pow! Right there. Right on Ken Harvey. Hits him right in the chops and stops everything. If you're going to block the Washington Redskins, you have to block Ken Harvey. He's their best pass rusher.
Jamel Williams and Keith Thibodeau, extra backs in there defensively on a 3-man rush, and they send a linebacker on 3rd and 11. Stewart gets by 2 Redskins and gets by another, and a great bit of running by Kordell Stewart gets the Steelers a first down.
See who made the big blocks? 2 rookies, Will Blackwell and George Jones. And I think that's part of this game, the transition game for an offensive player that you have to be good at. Here he comes. Now he's taking off and run. Now watch, here comes a block on Campbell, and right there, boom, there's 1, boom, there's 2. The first one was George Jones, the second one was Blackwell, and that allowed the first down.
So Blackwell with the big block, but Kordell Stewart, who scored a touchdown, has now rushed 5 times for 49 yards. So, as expected, he has gotten out of the pocket today, unlike last week. 10th play of the drive. First down, here's Jerome Bettis. And Kennard Lang all over him after a gain of about 3 or 4. And of course, Kordell Stewart presents a lot of problems for any team. And yesterday we talked to Ken Harvey, and he talked specifically about the problems Stewart presents.
he's always a threat. You can never get off your guy or think that he's tackled or that you have a sack on him. You have to stay on him constantly, and we have to play disciplined football and also, make sure we get him down.
That last part, make sure we get him down, that's a tough thing to do. Running quarterback is the hardest thing in football to defend.
2nd and 7 on the 18-yard line. Kirk Botkin, second tight end, is in motion. Stewart's pass is knocked down.
Almost picked off.
And I think it was
Keith Rucker.
Yep, Keith Rucker, number 99, who came in for the injured William Gaines, got a hand on it.
Now, they're not getting pressure. If you don't get any pressure, you better get your hands up. That time they just go play action. You can see Rucker right there, number 99, gets his hand. And then Jamal Duff. Heck, Jamal Duff had it. Heck, he had lunch, and he dropped it.
I didn't expect to see it in his hands that fast, man.
I don't know about him. I would never drop lunch. That I guarantee.
Or dinner or breakfast.
That's right.
3rd and 7. Stewart out of the shotgun. And it's intercepted by Ken Harvey. No, that was Marcus Patton. Right in the middle is Marcus Patton, who has played terrific so far in this season. Bad throw.
Said it was a bad throw and a poor decision by Stewart, but I was wrong. Jerome Bettis is the guy who screws up. They're going to try to run this back underneath, and Bettis right there. See, he made an adjustment, and they were expecting, Stewart was expecting him to come underneath on the 3rd and 7. He zigged when he should have zagged. He's still talking to himself. That's a big interception by Patton.
And the 3rd interception of the season for the Redskins, and it stopped a Steeler threat. They got 17 points over 4 takeaways last week against the Panthers. Slant pass, unable to hold on is Alvin Harper. And that will bring up 2nd down. So Randy Fuller is going in to play cornerback for Chad Scott. Donnell Wolford, the other cornerback for Pittsburgh.
Now you know what you have in Donnell Wolford. You don't know what you have in Randy Fuller. Young guy playing out there all by himself. Not as good, obviously, what the Steelers think, or they would have started him. I would expect you to attack him.
2nd and 10 at the 17, and the give is to Stephen Davis, and Davis carries it beyond the 20. Will bring up 3rd down and long for the Redskins. We have under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Steelers lead 7-3. Levon Kirkland comes off, and there's Leslie Shepard coming back on for Washington. 3rd down and 6 on the Redskin 21. We're out of time, and the pass is caught wide open. Leslie Shepard, and he's got a 1st down at the 41-yard line. Myron Bell on the tackle, and a big 20-yard gain on 3rd down for the Redskins.
And none of this happens if this offensive line doesn't protect. Watch Frerotte. Look at his eyes. They're perfect. He's eyeballing it the whole time. He can get away with that because he knows that they're having man underneath. And the man who was underneath Shepard was Fuller. Last week, the receivers had 0, except for Leslie Shepard had 2. They weren't involved at all. This week, a different story.
1st down at the 41-yard line of the Redskins, who trail 7-3. Frerotte pumps once, and wide open is Henry Ellard, and he walks out of bounds inside the 35-yard line of the Steelers, and a 25-yard pickup. So once again, as you just mentioned, they're using all the receivers to dividend.
Hey, look at what he does. He's going to take this and clear deep. And then he's going to take the second one. Now wait for this to happen and clear. Come all the way back. Now here he is. See him? They run him down, clear this area, and then Henry Ellard works back underneath.
And you just talking about how the wide receivers look at what they're doing today. 5 catches for 126 yards. 1st and 10 at the 34. Stephen Davis gets hit and dropped. Levon Kirkland and Kordell Lake in on the play.
Both these teams defensively are having problems rush the passer. Now it's one of 2 things. Either they're not doing a good job getting there, or it's a great job, conversely, of the offensive lines of protecting their passer. I think one of the things to remember when you're talking about this Pittsburgh defense and the Washington Redskin offense is last week they played the Carolina Panthers with Dom Capers who have this exact same scheme. So it was a kind of a warm-up game as to what's going to happen here.
The zone blitz. There's Chad Scott back behind the bench again for the Steelers on 2nd and 8. Stephen Davis, as a receiver, makes the catch, and a bit of a gamble by Darren Perry, who was going for the ball and missed. And as a result, the Redskins should have a first down.
Hey, Davis has kind of got a little hitch in his get-along coming back. A little bit of a limp. This is a nice throw and a nice catch out of the backfield. They're going to clear. They're going to isolate him. He went for the chance right there. Darren Perry didn't have it. It's a good catch. You heard Ronnie Lott talking about how they wanted to isolate Stephen Davis with his hands on the underneath coverage. There was a great example.
There was Davis as a receiver. 2-minute warning here at Three Rivers Stadium. We'll be right back. In the first half here in Pittsburgh, and they're looking at the x-rays on Chad Scott's right ankle, and they're going to evaluate it at halftime. Right now they're taping up that right ankle.
That's a good sign. It's also a good sign. This guy right here, see, that's a Penn State graduate, so he's in very good hands. That's Dr. Jim Bradley.
No comment. No,
he also played for Penn State.
First and 10 at the 24-yard line with 2 minutes to go and a 7-3 lead. Here is a fade pattern to Michael Westbrook, and jumping and timing it perfectly was Randy Fuller. He made a fine defensive play on Westbrook.
I said how long they would take him to find Randy Fuller out there. They've gone after him a couple times. This is a kind of a cousin to the fade stop. They're throwing it behind him purposely, and they want to use the athletic ability of Westbrook to come back and make that catch. Everything is just about done, except they didn't count on Fuller sticking with it and getting his hands up there. But very well defensed.
They're going for number 29 right now. 2nd and 10 at the 24. Pressure put on Frerotte, who drills it. Leslie Shepard inside the 5-yard line, and it's 1st and goal for the Redskins. Darren Perry on the stop, but Shepard, the big play receiver so far this year for the Skin.
That sucker had some mustard on it. That was a Brett Favre throw. That ball, look, watch how it's thrown. They're going to clear underneath. They're going to hit it right in front of the safety. He's got to throw it between them. Bradshaw couldn't have thrown it that good.
Well,
look at that. That ball's perfect and a nice fingertip catch.
3 catches for 76 yards for Leslie Shepard. 1st and goal at the 4. Here is Stephen Davis. Tripped up, and a fine play by Greg Lloyd. It'll be 2nd and goal.
That time it looked like not Greg Lloyd, but Stephen Davis, as you're looking at Ferrotte's parents. Stephen Davis wanted to use his speed to get to the outside. Lloyd held the outside with good discipline, and when he tried to bounce it, he tripped him up.
10th play of the drive coming up as the clock runs. Frerotte with a terrific day. Far cry from a week ago. 9 of his 10 completions have been for a first down. This is the 10th play of the drive. 2nd and goal. Frerotte drills it, and it's picked off by Levon Kirkland. And the big linebacker makes a big defensive play for the Steelers to snuff out.
Second time Kirkland has made a big play inside the 20, and it did not make Gus and Pat Frerotte very happy.
Steelers avoid another potential score. Want to remind you, coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report, JB and Terry will bring you scores and highlights from around the league. Guys will have a preview of the Packers and Eagles game. That's all coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report.
Now he threw that big play. They're gonna just run this bad boy out.
Not going to take any chances, and that should be the last play of the first half.
I want you to watch what Frerotte sees. It's hard to miss Levon Kirkland. He's 270 pounds in coverage. Remember, from here to here, the field has shrunk. So they're just going to play the zone underneath. Kirkland passes off the tight end right to him.
And that is the end of the first half with the score. The Steelers 7, the Redskins 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Dockers Khakis halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Where the Steelers lead the Redskins 7-3 as we get set to start the third quarter. And this first half highlight is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, and a critical Defensive play by the Pittsburgh Steelers as Gus Frerotte, bringing the Redskins in, presumably has his pass intercepted right into the hands of big Levon Kirkland. And the Redskins 3 times inside the 20-yard line in this first half, Matt. And they have had 2 interceptions and 1 field goal, so they really missed some golden opportunities.
Well, and the guy who took those golden opportunities away is Levon Kirkland. Kirkland played himself inside the red zone perfectly. The first interception, which was by Darren Perry, was actually set up by Kirkland's coverage. And then the second one, how he ever missed Levon Kirkland is beyond me. 270 pounds.
Let's take a look at the halftime statistics. It's been a game in which the Steelers have been able to run effectively and the Redskins have been able to pass.
But I think they've been able to run effectively when they wanted to, but it's been passing. It's the pass protection that's mattered. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's the biggest thing. But I want you to look right down here. See, red zone, they came away with squat. 3 times in, nothing. Steelers had 2, and they got 1. I think when you're watching Kordell Stewart in this first half, one thing has to be said. He's having problems sometimes with looking down the field with the coverage they're giving him. And he's been killing them by taking off and running. So what you have to do is you're going to have to start committing somebody to Kordell Stewart in the run game.
Ferrotte's numbers have been good, but 2 critical interceptions. Darren Perry making the first one, and then Levon Kirkland. And the Redskins trailing 7-3. And if anyone has mounted a better pass rush, it has been Pittsburgh because of their blitzing patterns that they've thrown. A lot more than what the Redskins have done that way.
Well, the Redskins haven't done anything, so anything more than that is going to be better. But to be honest with you, the Skins have been protecting pretty well.
Norm Johnson kicking off. Brian Mitchell back deep for the Redskins as we get underway for the second half. Cloud cover right now over Three River Stadium as Mitchell returns from the 3. Brian Mitchell trying to give the Redskins good field position, does that and more. And Mitchell into Steeler territory and steps out of bounds. No,
6
he's
points.
straight in and he's going to go in for the touchdown.
Unbelievable. The great block.
What a decoy I think he made too on that far sideline.
What a great block by Mark Logan, number 20. And then on the top side to start the whole thing, they got the kick-out block. Now here's the man he's going to look for. You're going to follow 20. Brad Badger, boom, Bowie right there. Does a nice job. Another one there, and now it's just off to the races. And he's got to kick it into high gear to beat Flowers. And oh, baby, I think he got away with one. He may have ticked that line.
You know, he seemed to stop, and it looked like it might be a decoy, and the Steelers stopped going after him, and then he turned on the jets and went in. It's a 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and that is his first career kickoff return for a touchdown for Brian Mitchell. Blanton's point after is good, and the Steelers now trail the Redskins 10-7. Let's see it again.
Yeah, watch the feet in slow-mo. He's going to get by Flowers. The first one's fine. The second one right.
I'm not sure, Matt.
He's inside there. Right there. There it is.
The right foot.
See that? Guess what? That's OB, and that should be right there. That's a great picture. But even forget the out of bounds. I mean, obviously the Steelers would like to. This is a great job of following your blocks and a tremendous job of the Washington Redskins staying on their blocks. See, Mitch is looking back. He gets to smile out, but he's looking to see if he was called out of bounds.
Byron Bell and Lethon Flowers gave chase, and it looked as if Mitchell might have had half of that right foot on the line, but no call. And for the first time in his illustrious kick return career, Brian Mitchell has a kickoff return for a touchdown. He's returned punts for scores.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you remember. He's a returner. You think like Mel Gray, you know, kickoff returns and punt returns. He has all, but that's the first one he's ever had, and I'm surprised. At the end of the first half, Brian Mitchell was one hot tamale, and he was yelling on the sidelines. And I'll tell you what, 97 yards later, he's a lot more calm.
He's calm, and he's smiling, and he's chattering all over the place. 97 yards for the touchdown, and the Steelers trail the Redskins now 10-7. And now the Steelers getting set to kick off, and they've taken the air out of the balloon as far as this crowd's concerned with that kickoff return. Will Blackwell will return from the end zone for the Steelers on the kickoff. Blackwell trying to emulate Brian Mitchell. Flag is down, and normally that means an illegal block.
Yeah, and Orpheus Rowe and also Oliver Gibson over there where that thing fell. Looks like it's coming back from that point.
2 flags. have been tossed.
Both of them are. Orpheus Royce, on all the special teams, he can run, and he's almost 300 pounds.
Boy, he is a specimen. Ron Blum will decide which flag they'll take.
Holding 41 on the receiver.
That's Lethon Flowers.
34 on the receiver.
And that's Tim Lester. 10-yard penalty. Right now, let's go down to Pam Oliver. Pam.
Well, Dick, I had a chance to talk with Norv Turner at halftime. He told me, first of all, they've got to do a better job of containing Kordell Stewart. He said very simply that Kordell has hurt us. He also mentioned that his guys offensively have got to do a better job inside the 20. He says he was not happy with those penalties and the turnovers, but he may be a little bit happier now if that kickoff return. Dick, back to you.
I'm sure he is. And thanks very much. Jerome Bettis finds an opening up the middle, and that'll get the crowd back into it.
And also get Tim Lester back into it after getting called for that penalty. Because that's a nice block on Lester, isolated on the inside backer. Derek Smith, number 50. You're going to watch Smith. He's going to come over, and Tim Lester will come at you right from inside. Now go up and hit it. Boom. Takes it. See the crease? A nice job by Wolford. And then he turns it over to the safety. And if you're Stanley Richard, you got to close that gap. You can't let him get a full head of steam.
14-yard gain. That's 81 yards picked up by Bettis so far in this game. And it's going to be Lester this time, and nothing there. Tim Lester, the fullback, gets 1 yard on the play. And we want to remind you that the second half of our Fox doubleheader, the Green Bay Packers, who won Monday night against the Bears, will go against the Philadelphia Eagles, who are trying to regroup against their loss against the Giants. The Eagles have won 4 of the last 6 against Green Bay. Pack won last year, however. Ty Detmer will make his first start against his former team. And the Eagles, of course, have another tough one next week with Dallas.
And if they don't straighten out that offensive line, it's going to be even tougher, because they'll take a whooping today from that defensive front.
Second down and 11. Stewart can't find a receiver. And finally, the Redskins get to him. Several skins are down there, and it's number 91, Chris Mims, the former Charger.
Looks to me like if you give right now, you're giving Kordell Stewart coverage down the field, mix things up. He's not seeing the whole field. He's not seeing all the coverage. Now, he'll probably debate me on that. That's my impression as I'm watching this thing. If you do that, then the next step is to give him the coverage and dedicate a man to him and let him start mirroring him. Take away the run.
More than a 2-to-1 ratio for rushes to passes for the Steelers today. Third down and 9, and a screen pass to George Jones. Rookie from San Diego State's got a lot of speed, and he speeds his way to a first down.
Nice call by the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's Chan Gailey. Nice job on the screen, and then Will Wolford sets the whole thing up. Will Wolford, number 77, right here. He's going to get outside. He's going to take Marcus Patton, and by putting the clamps on him, see right there, he holds him right there. See, just held that inside arm. He couldn't get off of him, and that opened the whole thing.
14-yard gain by Jones. And in all fairness, the Steelers, who fell behind early, could not run more than they wanted to last week. First down at the 42. Play fake to Bettis. Freezes the defense, and the pass is incomplete on the near sideline, and it was Yancey Thigpen, and that's the first time they have gone to Thigpen all day, covered by Darrell Green.
And what he did, they're going with play action. See, now the Washington Redskins are starting to commit Jesse Campbell, their strong safety, up. They're getting 8-man fronts. This is a nice call, and actually it's a good decision, but it's just a nice job of Darrell Green with Thigpen and squeezing that coverage, and that ball almost has to be perfect and have a great catch.
Green has taken Thigpen out of the action so far. They haven't even looked his way. Second and 10, there's pressure on Stewart, and the pass is caught. First down by Courtney Hawkins. That was a good play because he was hit immediately by Chris Dishman. Not an easy hit, and hold on.
And Dishman was all over the coverage, and he's mad at himself for not getting his hand in there. But look, they pay the other guy too. Sometimes you do everything right, and it just happens. Now look at this, ball's thrown perfectly. A great job of Hawkins of getting his ball between the defender and the quarterback. And so he has to go through you. So he makes the catch, and the ball is very well thrown by Stewart.
I like that. They pay the other guy, too.
Yeah, they do. Sometimes you forget that.
First down for the Steelers on the Redskin 47. Here is Jerome Bettis off the left side. Pushed out of bounds by Stanley Richard after getting nearly 9 yards.
Mark Bruner's the key there. Mark Bruner, when he was done, was looking outside to see if there were any flags because he latched on. Jesse Campbell comes up. Watch Jesse Campbell, 37. And now he's going to work on Ken Harvey. There's the hand. See, now he's holding him. He's holding him, getting to the outside, and Bettis is able to get to the corner because Bruner just held that outside shoulder just enough.
Bettis carried 15 times last week against Dallas. He's already carried 16 so far today for 89 yards. Second down and 1. And the Steelers will put it in the air. And going deep and incomplete for Charles Johnson. And great coverage downfield by Chris Dishman. He was step for step with Johnson.
Heck, he tried Dishman. And this coverage is as good as it gets. Watch Dishman. See, turn the hips, now turn and run. Watch the receiver. Look when he looks. Now the look, run underneath it. And just in case he was looking to the other side, watch Darryl Green. Darryl Green's going to work on Thigpen, does the exact same thing. Technically, maybe the two best corners in the league. Certainly the best tandem.
I don't know whether the Steelers recognized how good these Redskin corners were. They played 2 tough ones last week in the Cowboys. 3rd and 1, and loss on the play, and the Steelers don't get the first down. And Jesse Campbell, who played a big game defensively against the Panthers and stopped Bettis. It'll be 4th and 1.
Washington Redskins are committing all their people up front. Watch, they're coming up. Here he comes. Everybody's inside Campbell, who is stuffed in the middle, so you can't account for him. You start looking for big people. You see on 37 is a DB. Forget about him. He just comes clean. They start walking everybody up, and they're daring Pittsburgh to throw the football.
4th down and 1 on the 38 of Washington. Here's Bettis, and I don't think he made it. He did not, as a matter of fact. And Chris Mims came in to make the play, and the Steelers stopped Jerome Bettis, or the Redskins stopped Jerome Bettis cold on 2 straight plays and will take over on downs. A big defensive sequence by the Redskins, both at the line and in the secondary.
And philosophically, because Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator right there, he's saying, we are going to make you beat us by throwing the football. Pretty fired up.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. Along with Matt Millen, I'm Dick Stockton, and the Redskins just made a gigantic statement with stopping the Steelers, who had 3rd down and goal, or 3rd and 1 on 2 chances, 4th and 1.
Yeah, right.
Redskins take over, 1st down on their 38-yard line. Leslie Shepard in motion. The give is to Stephen Davis, finds an opening. And Davis brings it up. Good yardage on 1st down of 8 yards.
Dick, sometimes you have to make an individual play. This is a gap control defense. Kennard Lang will hold outside. Watch Mims. He's going to take on Myslinski, hold the outside, but the whole key right here, get off your block. Excellent job of Patton taking on the fullback. And then Mims, that is just a great individual effort. And Bettis was not too clean.
On 2nd and 3, 1st down as Davis gets close to midfield. Jason Gilden on the tackle. Redskins leading 10-7.
Stephen Davis has been impressive. They're going. I'm going to tell you something. I think Joel Steed is a pretty darn good football player inside. And he secures the middle pretty well. You have 2 physical backers inside. So what they've been doing, they've been trying to get them outside and come back inside, make them overrun, trying to use their patience against them.
1st and 10. And again, Davis up the middle, and he carries Darren Perry for a couple of yards. And as you know, Davis starting in place of Terry Allen, who gained 141 yards against the Panthers last week. And Allen could be ready for next week's grand opening at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium against the Arizona Cardinals. Davis today, 42 yards on 12 rushes. There is Allen.
Yeah, you can see Terry Allen. They're going to feel a little bit better about that thumb after they watch the tapes of Stephen Davis.
Gets the call again on 2nd and 5. Has the 1st down inside the 30-yard line. And now the Redskins are able to show the rest of the league what they've known about Stephen Davis, who has waited for his chance and making the most of it.
Well, there's a way to call a game. And Norv Turner hates when I say this, but I don't really care. Because Norv Turner is outstanding at mixing his things up. He's outstanding of using what you do well against you and then taking advantage of your weaknesses. Talking to him last night, he said he plays the game over and over and over in his mind. And I think that's the way you have to play.
If you don't see it before it happens, something's wrong. Ryan Mitchell in as the third down back. Screen pass to Mitchell. Ryan Mitchell looking for running room. And the Steelers get him down. A sea of black jerseys led by Darren Perry. And a gain of 4 yards, and Shar Pordanish, the left tackle, slow getting to his feet. And a Steeler is injured as well.
Kevin Henry is down, getting up slow. Heck, he hurt his sneaker. He blew that Nike right off. I heard somebody groan. I think it was his shoe.
You don't want that shoe to go on IR, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Redskins.
Greg Lloyd's had a quiet game.
For the 2nd week in a row.
2nd week in a row.
Redskins offense today. Pretty impressive. 2nd down and 6. Here is Mitchell. And Mitchell gets hit at the 21-yard line. He'll be short of a first down by about 3 or 4. Wolford came up to make the tackle.
Von Kirkland has had himself a strong game. Not only in the pass game, you saw the 2 big plays, but also in the run game. And Levon Kirkland at 270 pounds. With this 34 scheme that they run, they can use him kind of as a lineman and a linebacker because he has ability to move, but he can step up and plug the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 3. 3 wide receivers for the Redskins. And the quick pass is caught for the first down, and that is Jamie Asher. Very valuable receiver as a tight end. Jason Gilden making the tackle, and the Redskins will move the sticks inside the Steeler 20.
Well, what they do is they went hurry up. See, they got in there and they snapped the ball quick. They gave him the formation, and then as the Steelers are starting to adjust, boom, the ball came out real quick. You know, I like that Jamie Asher. I'm going to tell you why. Yesterday, they showed up, and Norv Turner said he was the worst dressed guy on the team. He immediately went 3 notches up for him.
You can't do better than that. 1st and 10 at the 11, and the pitch to Stephen Davis, and Davis' flag is down, gets to about the 7-yard line.
They're going to call Larry Bowie. Redskins are taking over the line of scrimmage.
And it is against the Redskins, but they're winning the battle up front right now.
47 offense.
And you're right, it's Bowie.
Repeat first down.
Watch Larry Bowie, number 47. You can see him right here. Donnell Wolford's going to come up. He tries to take it on, and he just, they're going to call that around his neck. That's what they're going to call. That's a good call.
And for the Redskins, a bad call when you get that close. That sends it out to the 21-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 20 with 5:25 and running remaining in the 3rd quarter. Those are Gus Frerott's numbers. 2 interceptions have hurt, but the Redskins lead.
They've been in this area in the red zone.
On the draw play, Stephen Davis working his way inside and picks up about 5. Darren Perry, who's been in on a horde of tackles today for the Steelers once again.
Well, what the Steelers are doing, the same thing that Washington is doing. They're committing him up front to the run, and they're giving him that 8-man look, and so he's getting aggressive in that running game. The danger with that, when they're throwing the ball as well as they are, is that you'll use that against him. And you start using his aggressiveness coming to the line of scrimmage. They'll play action, you bite, opens a hole, and it's 6.
9th play of the drive coming up on 2nd down and long. Frerotte pumps once, throws off the fingertips of Alvin Harper, and defending was Randy Fuller, who's had to come in and play cornerback on a regular basis with Chad Scott injured today.
Watch this isolation. Again, we talked about it earlier. they're going to try to get to Randy Fuller. So they're going to take Shepard and bring him back across. They're trying to clear it. And had that ball been thrown better, it was 6. Because Harper did the good job of getting his body between the defender and the ball. It was just too high. He knows it too. So he's looking at it. Oh, he can't believe it.
3rd down and 16 for the Redskins on the 17-yard line of the Steelers. And Frerotte pass underneath to Jamie Asher, still on his feet, and Asher gets to the 6th, and that will bring up 4th down. Myron Bell, an extra back, making the stop, and it'll be 4th down.
Good
and about
defense.
5.
That's good defense by those Pittsburgh Steelers. That time they just put coverage back. Again, what they did when Kirkland made the catch. They have everybody back, and now it forces you to have to throw. They're not going to give you anything deep. They're going to make you throw underneath. They're going to come up and make the tackle. Good defense.
Scott Blanton successful on a 37-yard field goal in the first half. We'll try this from 23 yards.
Greg Lloyd jumped.
And that's going to be interesting if it's against Greg Lloyd. That could be close to a first down, Matt.
Well, that'll be half the distance.
So it will not be a first down, and it's a chip shot anyway.
But they don't give the full 5 yards down there. That'll be half the distance. Some of the Redskins are pointing.
Good point. Nolan Harrison is pointing.
Now they're going to say it's against the Redskins.
Prior to the snap, false start on the center, 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
Oh, they got Ulenik in there. Yeah, well, you play in the league long enough, you start picking up little tricks. Some of them is you pick the ball up real quick, and some of them is you just give a little bit of a head snap or a head bob. When you're in that position, when you're trying to get a jump, any movement at all will draw you. Yeah, watch him right here. What does he do?
Wind it, run! Wind it, run!
Yeah, see it? That's an old veteran trick. He just gave that little bit of surge, and it created the jump.
So now a 28-yard attempt by Blanton, and it's perfect. And the Redskins now lead 13-7. They have scored all 10 points scored in this second half.
On the pitcher's mound right there. There's first base right down here. Blanton's going to be kicking off right in front of the catcher.
And the Pirates only 2.5 behind the Houston Astros in the National League Central. That's an amazing story this year in baseball. Will Blackwell returning from the 5 for the Steelers. Changes direction. And is tackled by Brian Walker after a return of 22 yards. We'll be right back to Three River Stadium after this. Redskins leading the Steelers 13-7 with 3:17 left in the third. 11-play, 52-yard drive, capped by Blanton's field goal, and Stephen Davis gained 38 of the 64 yards on that drive. And right now, defensively, the Redskins have Mark Boutte and Keith Rucker at tackle, with Lang and Owens at end. 1st and 10, Steelers on their 28. Fake end around, and Kordell Stewart has Jerome Bettis on the screen. Rucker couldn't slow him up, and finally he is brought down by Rich Owens. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Dick and Matt, fumbles plagued Tony Banks last year, the Rams quarterback. Take a look inside the 5. He fumbles in the red zone. His second fumble today. You know, he had an NFL high 21 last year. San Francisco still trails by 2. Dick Stockton, Matt Millen.
Vermeil has them playing well. I mean, they're up 9-7 and they're driving when they pop that thing up.
He does.
Where San Francisco's playing terrible.
2nd down and 1 at the 37. And here is Bettis going outside. Gets the first down as Darrell Green went high to make.
Yeah, but he got it.
Yeah. Right now, this game summary is brought to you by Budweiser. Kordell Stewart has run today. They took the shackles off, 51 yards and a touchdown. And Brian Mitchell with his first career kickoff return of 97 yards. And the wide receivers have gone to town for the Redskins today.
Sometimes you just got to take one for the Gipper and give it up for the team. And he gave him his whole chest. And Darrell Green, amazing. 15 years, and he's still as good as there is in the league.
Spry is a 20-year-old. First down at the 42. Bettis gets the call again. He can wear you down and out. And Jerome Bettis with a first down. Big run into Redskin territory. Stanley Richard finally.
You know who got this whole thing going up front in the offensive line? Watch Justin Strelzik, number 73. He's going to be this tackle. He's going to come down, and he's got to take Boutte, and he pushes him all the way down inside. And then Derek Smith doesn't get off the ball, off the block, and he just blows him right inside. Myslinski does a good job of getting on Derek Smith.
And Bettis with 110 yards rushing today. First down and 10 for the Steelers on the Redskin 43. And this time they do ride around to Will Blackwell, rookie from San Diego State, hit by Green. Flag is down, and maybe they'll call a roughing penalty on Green. He's arguing with the official right here.
That thing opened up quick.
Personal foul.
That'll be on Darryl Green for going to the head.
Unnecessary roughness, 28 defense, 15 yards, first down.
Sorry I'm laughing, but the thought of Darryl Green with unnecessary roughness is kind of funny. And he did. He went high on him, came up on his face, and Al Jury, the side judge over there, caught him. Good call.
It is rare for Darryl Green, or Do-Good, as you like to call him, commits that kind of a foul.
Hey, but in this drive, the Steelers went back to basics and just went back to their running game and started pounding it.
Steelers with a first down on the Redskins 17. And there's Bettis, a workhorse today, and Stanley Richard wrestles him down inside the 10-yard line. Marcus Patton also going after Bettis on that play.
Yeah, Marcus Patton gave us some thoughts about what it's like to be tackling Jerome Bettis.
That's a very tough task for any middle linebacker.
And having to defend him. I mean, there's a certain way you want a big back.
And time is running down, and Jerome Bettis, who said, I want the ball, going back to basics, that's what they've done. That is the end of the third quarter with the score. The Redskins 13 and the Steelers 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Welcome back to Three River Stadium. We start the fourth quarter with the Steelers driving and the Redskins leading 13-7. Ryan Mitchell with a 97-yard kickoff return to start the second half. Steelers were leading at the half 7-3. Second down and 1 for Kordell Stewart and the Steelers on the 8-yard line of the Redskins. And Jerome Bettis bangs off one defender and is stopped at about the 6-yard line.
That's how you have to defend him. So you can't give him that thing right away. You have to make him redirect. If he gets that full head of steam coming straight at you, then he blows a hole in your defense. You've got to stop the point, make him redirect, or have him go sideways. Then you have a shot.
And Bettis got the job done. He got the first down, so it's first and goal for the Steelers. 6 points behind, and Bettis, who has gone over 100 yards in this game. First and goal at the 6. Yancey Thigpen has come in at wide receiver along with Charles Johnson. Those are the two starters. Stewart's pass tipped, incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it was Chris Dishman who broke it up.
Dishman's been having a big game in coverage. Every time they've tried to try his side, he's been right on top of it. You're going to watch him. He's going to Charles Johnson. He's going to hold us outside, knows where his help is, knows the safety's inside, gets a little hold there. Remember, it's never a penalty until they call it on both sides of the ball.
Dishman's hard-hitting play at cornerback has really given the Redskins defense an identity this year.
Giving them a lot more confidence to use their safeties in the run game as well.
Second and goal, they go to the bus. Bettis, and he's tripped up. Hitting him low was Jesse Campbell, again coming up from strong safety to make a big play.
See, that's what I was talking about. See, when you start using your corners like that, then your safety's free to work inside. Now, here's the problem. If your offensive line is taking care of your defensive line and your safety has to make a lot of tackles, where the heck are your backers? They got to be in there too. Campbell is unaccounted for when he walks up, so he should make play.
2 tight ends for the Steelers, 3rd and goal at the 1.
Option.
And it's an option pass to the Colorado Buffaloes, and it's Jerome Bettis, touchdown, Pittsburgh.
I was just going to say, watch the option. Hey, this is a perfect example of what they talked about in the pregame show. Terry Bradshaw said they were going to use his feet. You can't get a better illustration than this. He's going to do the old reverse. You come back right down the line of scrimmage. You're going to make him commit. He's your option man, and then it just becomes a foot race, and he beats Patrice Alexander to the corner.
Well, you've been talking about Norv Turner's abilities to make play calls, which he does so well, and this was a good one by Chan Gailey of the Steelers.
Excellent call. Using what you have.
Tied at 13, and Norm Johnson will try to give the Steelers a 1-point lead, and he does. Early here in the 4th quarter, Jerome Bettis has been the offensive bulwark for the Pittsburgh Steelers today. His touchdown gives the Steelers the lead once again. Steelers, who are trailing here in the 3rd quarter, now lead it early in the 4th, 14-13 on a 9-play, 72-yard drive. Bettis, 6 carries, 37 yards, and he scored the 1-yard touchdown. What does that say?
QB hand placement right there. See, you don't want it to the right, you don't want it to the left. It's right there in the old keister.
Just follow the pictures, the directions.
That's Mislinski. Put your hands here.
On the back of the package, just follow the directions. Norm Johnson kicking off and going to the side where Brian Mitchell bobbles it in the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. No, they'll be out at the 2.
He called it at the now he's going to mark it there.
They're going to mark it at the 2 because it came out and he had possession in the end zone and it went out of bounds. He last touched it. It was at the 2. Now the crowd is the 12th man for the Steelers as the Redskins will start from their 3-yard line, and you'll hear them go now. Frerotte in the end zone gets pressure, and he's going deep and misses Leslie Shepard just beyond Shepard with Wolford covering. The errors by the Washington Redskins today. They have thrown 2 interceptions, 8 penalties. They've been in the red zone 4 times and have not scored a touchdown, plus the muff kickoff return by Mitchell moments ago.
You couple that and you couple the running of Bettis and the play of the offensive line to allow Bettis, and no sacks allowed, and the Pittsburgh Steelers do it pretty well.
Stephen Davis, nothing. 3rd down.
Carnell late, walked up late, gave him the 8-man front, had nobody to account for him, just came off the corner and makes the tackle. Carnell Lake is one of those players who just has a great feel for the game. You know, some guys just know how to play. Walk up. He's going to walk right up, kind of be sneaky a little bit, then just come off the corner. He has an excellent feel for what's going on and how to play.
Perennial All-Pro, Pro Bowler. 3rd and 10.
Well, you love to play when the crowd's like this.
And this time Henry Ellard gets free, and that'll silence him. A big pass to Henry Ellard, who was wide open, 27 yards. Finally Wolford got him, and Frerotte holding on to his left shoulder or chest, I'm not sure.
Well, they came with the blitz inside. They had 1-on-1 outside. Flowers, Myron Bell, 40, comes and whacks him, not before he makes the completion. He's staying in there. They come with the blitz inside. Watch Flowers, set number 40. He hits him right on that left side. Doesn't look like it's a big deal now. He's a line of scrimmage with nothing.
But a huge play for the Redskins, who have a 1st down on the 30. And Stephen Davis is upended by Earl Holmes. I want to remind you that the second half of our Fox doubleheader will be from Philadelphia, where the Eagles, licking their wounds after losing to the Giants a week ago, go against the Green Bay Packers. That'll be the second half of our Fox doubleheader as you see Jeff Hostetler, the experienced backup, loosening up. Some of you will see the Giants and the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up next. 2nd and 8 at the 32. Left, went right, and it's caught by Shepard, but not much there as the Steelers defended well. A pickup of 4, and it was the former Bear again, Donnell Wolford.
Wolford had nice tight coverage. Ball was well thrown out. That's just a good play all the way around. The big 3rd down for the Pittsburgh Steelers and also the Washington Redskins. You got your 1-point lead. You're at about a 10-minute mark. Starting on a 2-yard line, they're going to try to keep this thing going. It's time for the chess game. Norv Turner on your left, Jim Haslett on the right. Play calling, play defending.
Westbrook and Harper split to the left. On 3rd and 4. Frerotte tosses it, and Leslie Shepard makes a fine catch. That had great touch to it, and the Redskins will get a first down. Wolford on the stop. But a nice touch shown by Gus Frerotte.
Nice touch, but it can't happen unless there's 2 things. The protection and then the patience by Frerotte. Nice job of the offensive line picking it up. But look, just a nice little touch. And that has to have a lot of patience because from there to there, you hold your breath. Ball's a little bit behind. Shepard makes the catch.
Gus Frerotte, 16 of 27, already 246 yards, but the 2 interceptions in the first half.
In the red zone.
First down at the 43 of the Steelers. Well, that's still in Redskin territory, and it's Michael Westbrook. Nothing doing, and that reverse fizzled, and a loss of 2 yards. Jason Gilden.
Took too long to develop, but also all week long, the Steelers, all they talk about, we know we're going to get a reverse. We know it's coming somewhere. We just don't know where it is.
That's the first thing they said to us when we talked to each guy. We know we're going to see the reverse. And now Jeff Hostetler will come in the game, replacing Gus Frerotte. So that injury when he was holding on to his left shoulder or whatever it was apparently bothered him. So Hostetler comes in. 2nd and 12 at the 41. Former Oakland Raider. He's going to go to the air on his first attempt. Larry Bowie out of the backfield, and he's about a yard and a half short of a first down with Randy Fuller making the play.
How about talking to Hostetler before the game? I was talking to, we had our old Raider stories going. You look, they're working on Gus Frerotte over there. And he said, you know, I came here and after 3 days, I knew the offense. And he said, and I couldn't believe what a great game and the game plans that Norv Turner puts into practice. He said, I would have loved to have been here with him from the start.
Now you need an experienced backup in the NFL today, and the Redskins are well fortified in that department. 3rd down and 2. Here comes the blitz. Pass to Asher. First down to the Steeler 44. Wolford on the tackle.
It's about
contact lens problem.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hostetler didn't look like he needed contact. So he saw it right away, and the ball came out real quick.
Well, Hostetler in for a couple of plays.
How about you come in right off here? You look at Ferrotte's parents. You see they're working on him right there, putting that contact lens back in. That's Bubba Tyre and Kevin Bastine, Al Bellamy, the 3 trainers for the Redskins.
10th play of the drive coming up. First down on the 44. Fake draw play. Frerotte has time, and he's going deep for Westbrook, and no flag is thrown. They got tangled up. And the play made by Fuller and Perry. And right now for McDonald's Game Break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Dick and Matt, back and forth game, Minnesota-Chicago. Kramer finds Bobby Ingram. Chicago back on top by the score of 17-13. That in the 4th. Just starting the 4th. Take it back to Dick and to Matt.
You're not surprised the Bears are showing well today. You had the Monday night on radio, I know.
Yeah, they played pretty well, and of course they're using the Penn State guy Ingram, so he's gonna make a play. You know that.
Sorry I brought it up. 2nd and 10. Handoff. Davis loses a yard. Steed and Holmes that time, and we get down to the 7-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. It's been a nip and tuck all the way. The Steelers led at one time 7-3, and then the Redskins took a 13-7 lead. And a run by Jerome Bettis from a yard out, capping a 72-yard drive, has given Pittsburgh the 1-point lead here. 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Redskins. Broken up. Randy Fuller. Nice pass intended for Michael Westbrook.
And well conceived defensively. They kept Myron Bell over the top, and they had Fuller work from the underneath side. That's that defense I was talking. It's called man under, 2 deep. See, they're going to take him. They're going to let him get to the top side. Take away the inside. Now run. You have help up here. See, and you can cut it off from underneath because the ball either has to be thrown perfectly outside or it has to go high.
Matt Turk will be punting for the first time. He kicked 6 times last week, and Courtney Hawkins going back for the Steelers. So Matt Turk has had an easy day until now. He gets somewhat of a low snap and a low kick.
Nice punt.
And the Redskins looking to down it. They had Jamel Williams and Darryl Pounds back there, but it goes into the end zone for a touchback. Steeler ball when we come back to Pittsburgh. Bill Cowher talking to his defensive unit here. Very active head coach. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Steelers, who lead by 1 point. And a tip ball incomplete, and it was a blitz put on by the Redskins. Right now, let's go to James Brown for a game break at our television center in Hollywood.
Dick and Matt, moments after I gave you the last update, 6 plays, 77 yards later. Take a look at this. Jake Reed on the receiving end of that pass from Brad Johnson. Matt, he tells me that Brad Johnson pump fake to freeze the corner. That was from Terry Bradshaw. 2017 Vikes back to Dick and Matt.
Bradshaw is right. Boy, that corner bit hard, too.
2nd and 10 at the 20 with 6:20 remaining, and here's Courtney Hawkins on the end around. He's got Mislinski blocking in front of him, and he's caught up with, and the tackle is made Darrell Green.
Big 3rd down here for both teams. Washington Redskins have moved the ball. They put themselves into position a few times to win the game. They've come away with nothing. Right now, you have 6 minutes left to go. The Pittsburgh Steelers have to eat the clock up because the Redskins have been moving the football. So this is a big down for both teams.
An extra defensive back in for the Redskins. 3rd down and 3. Jerome Bettis looms number 36.
They have to spread out. Don't be surprised to see something come right up inside.
Out of the shotgun, and it's going to be a quarterback draw for the first down. And once again, Kordell Stewart first on the option and then on the quarterback's draw. Shows how dangerous he can be with that other dimension.
Well, and Chan Gailey, their offensive coordinator, does a good job of helping him out. Because what they do is they spread everything. They're trying to create a minimum amount of people inside. And then you have this guy accounting for Bettis, so he just blocks him. And then the offensive line, again, doing a fine job all day long. No sacks, 200 yards rushing, and they've been pounding the football with Bettis protecting Kordell Stewart.
You were right. There was something inside for sure. 1st down at the 35. Here is Bettis. And Bettis picks up about 7 yards on the play. Rich Bettis, and there you see Greg Lloyd being worked on the sideline. It'll be 2nd down and 3. 4.5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. And they go to Bettis again. And Bettis close to a 1st down. Boutte and Stanley Richard in on the play.
Bettis, there's no question, has had himself a big day today. And they kind of expected that. Anybody who watched him play last week and watched the Redskins on that Sunday night game knew that Bettis was going to have a big role in today's game. Well, right now, this is his high, his best game since last year. He's at, what, about 100 and almost 140. What does he have?
He has 134 right now, and they're short of the first down by a foot. His game high last year was 133 yards, and he surpassed that. He's carried 26 times. It'll be third down and about a foot. And there are a lot of ways the Steelers can go to move the sticks and keep the clock running in their favor. They got Bettis and they got Stewart. There you see a career high since he's worn the black and gold of the Steelers today, 134 yards. Third and less than a yard. Quarterback sneaks first down as Kordell Stewart had. But if you ask Jerome Bettis, his biggest thrill in sports, no question about it, he says, it's the day I rolled a perfect 300 game in bowling in Muskegon, Michigan.
He's big on bowling, and anybody who follows the Steelers, Jerome Bettis, knows that. And his whole family is big on being kegglers.
They have accepted him with open arms in this city.
There's the family right there. Yeah, he's waving.
I see more people wearing jerseys with number 36 on them when you walk the streets. Each team has all 3 timeouts remaining. First down, Steelers on the 46. But they're chewing up the clock effectively. Here is Bettis again. He'll lose about a yard on the play thanks to Boutte and Ken Harvey.
And a good job of holding the point by Kennard Lang. Now you're down to 3 minutes. You got to start thinking about your timeouts. You got to start thinking about what you have. You know, if you have 3 timeouts, you can stop the clock 4 times with your 2-minute warning.
And I think a lot will depend on what happens on this down.
I'm not so sure I wouldn't take one right here. But it's a moot point now since it's gone.
2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. Steelers by 1, second down and 11 on their own 45. And a play fake. Kordell Stewart is going to be down, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Redskins call a timeout right now.
You do right there. That thing was well defended by Kennard Lang. And I can't tell if it was because he was tired or because he knew it was coming.
And Derek Smith deserves a kudo as well.
Wrong. Marcus Patton right here says, hey, get over there. So he runs over, and that's the first part, because he's going to look for Thigpen down here. Then Bruner's going to come across, and he's wide open right here. He's going to roll a little bit more, and he comes clean. But Kennard Lang, who holds it up perfectly and allows Derek Smith to make the play, is the whole key. Because had he not been there, Bruner was open in the middle, and down below, Darrell Green had his coverage on Thigpen.
That's the first sack by either team. Derek Smith, the rookie, getting the credit. Third down and 20. Redskins will rush 3, and they have 2 timeouts remaining. 4 wide receivers. And there is Kordell Stewart again running with it. And Stewart is going to get smacked, and smacked hard at the 46 by Stanley Richard,
who lost his helmet on the play. Now they'll take this thing down to the 2-minute warning. So the Redskins will have 2 timeouts at the change of possession after the 2-minute warning.
And don't forget, they only need a field goal to take the lead in this game, trailing by 1. So the 2-minute warning here in a 1-point game with the Steelers leading 14-13. Morning, Norv Turner talking with his QB.
Yeah, but look at watch this. See, Norv's not dumb. He knows it's 2 minutes, it's crunch time, so you lighten things up. So you try to relax everybody.
Brian Mitchell.
He's not relaxed.
Well, he's a danger. He's a dangerous threat, as you know. 97-yard kickoff return today. His first, by the way, from the kickoff variety this game in his career. 4th down, and Josh Miller. Good high kick by Miller. And Mitchell's going to let it bounce, and the Steelers try to keep it in play.
Nice job by Adams, the wide receiver, 86. Left his feet in bounds. Oh, now they're going to say no. Now they're going to. Oh, they missed an opportunity there.
It's a touchback, and it was a late call, but an accurate call by the field judge. Redskins will get it back on the 20. It was Kirk Durham. Good job.
I want you to remember, he has to stay in the green area right there. See that? Once he steps onto that white line, he can't touch the ball. and the ball goes up. He thinks he takes off like a triple jump prior to the line, but he doesn't. He touches right there. It becomes a touchback. Perfect call.
Kirk Dornan in his 4th year made the call. Gus Frerotte on 1st down, and a pass incomplete. It was intended for Ellard, and it was Randy Fuller from behind making the play.
Hey, Fuller, nice cut. Fuller's played well since they lost Chad Scott. Fuller working outside, and they've been going after him. He's been smart. He's been using his help. He's not going to get beat deep. And see how he did that at the end? Ellard went up with both hands. He grabbed both arms and yanked them down. And that made the ball incomplete.
2nd and 10. Redskins have 2 timeouts remaining. All they need is a field goal, and the pass up the middle of Brian Mitchell, and Mitchell diving toward the sticks as we wind down to 1.5 minutes remaining. Wolford and Kirkland on the play, and it's a hurry-up offense here for Norv Turner's crew. It'll be 3rd and about a yard.
You got to be quick in and out of the huddle. 3rd down doesn't matter. They're going to go for another 4.
Yeah, they got 2 downs for this. And a running play.
They're going to have to.
Yes, they are. Mitchell got stuffed and lost a yard. And that's the last thing Norv Turner wanted. And a timeout called by Washington. With a big catch, and he gets the 1st down for the Redskins, and just barely made it by a half a yard. But under a minute to go, and the Redskins have only 1 timeout remaining. Here comes pressure on Frerotte. 1st down from the 31. This pass thrown away. Intended for Harper, but the defender was too close.
It's a gutsy call. Gutsy call. I didn't like the 3rd down call that Norv Turner had. As good a games as called, I didn't like the 3rd down draw. He comes back. The Steelers come out with a pretty gutsy call and go with a blitz. And a nice read by Frerotte to Asher. Hits it quick, and the 1st down. Now we have to start defending the outside of the field.
Nervous parents of Gus Frerotte. Redskins need about 30 yards to get into Blanton's longest field goal range of 53 or so. Here is Ferrotte's pass, and it's caught by Ellard. And Ellard is about a yard short. Randy Fuller on the tackle.
Got to get outside. He's got to get out of bounds. You got 40 seconds and 1 timeout. You have about 30 yards to go.
Scott Blanton's longest field goal attempt in his career, 53 yards.
You got to get the ball out of bounds.
1st down on the 41. Out of bounds. Intercepted.
Oldham with the interception.
That's going to be the game. Oldham on the interception. Might have been off the hands of Asher. We'll check. But Frerotte has thrown his 3rd interception of the game to, for all intents and purposes, end the Redskin hopes. But boy, the Steelers came up big today in snuffing out scoring threats by Washington.
I like the decision making here. Went back inside. You have to work the perimeter. Not a good job inside the 20 today by Frerotte. He looks like he had 3 bad throws there. And this one was tight coverage underneath by Gilden. Gilden makes the play, and then Oldham comes down with the pick, and that's the game.
And the reaction of Gus Ferrotte's parents, 40 friends and relatives coming from Ford City, and it has been a disappointing day for them, to be sure, as Chris Oldham, former Arizona Cardinal, makes the big interception, and that will do it. As the Pittsburgh Steelers, after losing to the Cowboys, come back and win a tough, hard-fought game over the Washington Redskins, 14-13, and the winning score, Jerome Bettis going over from a yard early in the 4th quarter, and that did it for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And a big game for Bettis, who gained 126 yards, scored a touchdown, his Pittsburgh Steeler high.
Well, we thought the game was going to be a game where Bettis played a prominent role in the running game, and we were right. He pounded away for the career high, like you said. A nice job of the offensive line, but I think it raises a flag if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. because Kordell Stewart did not have the greatest game in terms of looking downfield and see what was going on.
But he was a threat to run, and he took advantage of that a couple of times.
Very much.
Final numbers on Bettis: 27 carries, 134 yards, and a touchdown.
Big day for Levon Kirkland inside the 20, and a poor day for Gus Frerotte inside the 20. 2 interceptions. Kirkland played a prominent role in both of them.
So Frerotte will have to go into next week's home opener knowing that he has played 2 shaky games as a passer at quarterback for the Redskins, who will open up Jack Kent Cooke Stadium next Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals.
He threw the ball really well. I mean, he had 3 bad plays, really.
Came at bad times. But a big win for the Steelers, who avoided losing their first 2 home games. They hadn't lost their first 2 at Three Rivers Stadium in a given season since 1986, and they wanted to avoid that. Right now, let's send it down to Pam Oliver, who's with Jerome Bettis. Pam?
All right, Jerome Bettis, 27 carries, 134 yards for you today. How hard fought was it down there?
It was a rough game. That defense, they knew we were going to run the ball, and they were ready for it. And they made it a tough battle, but we were able to win it in the clutch.
I know you're vain, so I'm going to let you go ahead and put on your hat.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Tell me what it meant for you guys to sort of turn it around, especially after things went last week.
Well, it was critical because our confidence was at an all-time low because of how we lost the game last week. And so we wanted to come in, establish the run, and come out here and just have a good game. And I think we did that. We made some mistakes, but we overcame them.
Bill talked a lot about getting back to basics, and you guys seem to do that today.
Yeah, the key was for us to run the football. We're a running team, and if we can't run the football, we're not going to be successful. So the key, #1 thing was for us to come out here and run the football.
All right, thanks a lot, Jerome. We appreciate it. The bus. Let's go back up to Dick.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. Very delighted Jerome Bettis as the Pittsburgh Steelers have defeated the Washington Redskins. They're 1-1. The Redskins 1-1 after their loss. 14-13 the final score. For Matt Millen and Pam Oliver, Dick Stockton saying so long. When we come back, we'll be joined by our studio friends in Hollywood.